exciting news for Crowded House fans tonight. After splitting up earlier this year, the band has decided to regroup for one last gig.
I think at the time that Crowded House was doing the touring, and especially once Paul had left, the whole thing started to feel like we could have kept going on a sort of repetitive cycle and done probably quite nicely, but it didn't seem like a very satisfying way to proceed really somehow. We did the big show in Sydney, and it was good because it was a ritual to sort of, you know, see the band off. And I had a whole bunch of new songs that didn't seem suited to Crowded House somehow. They seemed like they needed a few fresh angles thrown in.
Hand me down my favorite coat, show what you're made of, surprise us both.
I've never saw music as being something that I would do for a certain period of time and then retire and do something else. It always seemed like it was something which potentially could get better and better.
Bring us round, bring us round.
This is a solo project. I mean, there was a cast of characters, obviously, during the recording of the record, but I started it and finished it on my own. The first 2/3 of the record was recorded in my basement in New Zealand, yeah, and it was a bit of a nebulous process because I built a studio during the course of the beginning of the recording, and so I was recording in different rooms of the house while they were digging underneath, but got to finish it. Actually, it was finished on my birthday. As time goes on, I'm content to be what I am. For a long period of time, I was always looking enviously at the people who are rocking out really well and thinking, this is where I should be. You know, the medium tempo, slow balladeer is not, you know, rated highly enough. I can't get no respect. And so you think you have to be something that you're not. But now I'm reasonably content, I think, with the fact that I write a better slow song or a better ballad than I do a rock song.
Seeing everything, got my eyes, got my face. Singing everyone, got my nose, got my blood.
The song Sinner came about through working with Marius de Vries. He came down to New Zealand and basically for 2 weeks just created all these little vignettes, these soundscapes, which was a combination of what he had in his refrigerator, as we called it, and what I had lying around, and then left me with them. And Sinner was one of those things that was an atmosphere, and I just wrote some chords and melodies on one night.
Sinner, I have never learned. Beginner, but I cannot return. Forever, I must walk this earth like some forgotten soldier.
There were some great accidents happen too, like Liam, my son, Liam, who plays some drums now. He's 14 years old and he's getting real good. He and I had a jam one night, and he laid this groove down and I was playing bass along to it, and then he went off to bed and I actually wrote a song based around his drum beat, which is the song Souvenir.
Where the guests like souvenirs, they play with you till you're all worn out.
The other important part of the process for me was I got to a point, having worked at home for about 3 months, where I had a whole bunch of songs and I really loved the atmospheres of them and the tunes themselves, and they were sitting in pretty good shape, but I sensed somehow that they were quite reserved and introspective as a result of me only being with myself and in my basement, and it's a closed environment. So I thought it might be very healthy to go and see how they sounded in the context of the real world. If you call New York the real world, it's definitely an urgent, much more intense place than downtown Auckland. So we all shipped out, the family and I, and spent 2.5 months in New York, and I booked a studio paying real studio rates, which is not to be underestimated as a motivation to finish, and finished the record in New York, you know, walking to the studio amongst the chaos and madness, and I'd get to the studio and put the songs up, and they all seemed to need a bit more spark and a bit more energy.
What do you think, Dr. Cushing?
She's not well, Harry.
She Will Have Her Way actually started in the lounge room as the studio was being built, and it was the first time Michael Barker entered the scene. I brought him over really to try him out and see what was going to happen between us. And we had the first song we attempted was She Will Have Her Way, which I had finished but didn't really have an idea for, and he just got down and sat on a pair of tablas, and we did a rhythm track, and I played acoustic guitar, and it ostensibly was a demo, but we ended up using that original take as the basis of the track, and Marius came in and we put it in the computer and kind of spiced it up a bit.
And she will have her way, somehow I will still believe her. She's the life I've been frightened of. Seems like deathless silence, and especially the dark. Feels like I am heavy and my spirit has died. She will have her way, somehow I will still believe her. She will have.
Normally when I finish records, all the flaws of it are immediately obvious to me, and I'm quite insecure about it until I'm playing it on stage or something and it's passed, it's moved on to the next phase. I've heard it lots since I finished it, and I haven't actually grimaced or winced. There's still a few things here and there that I go, well, I could have got that better, and maybe next time I'll, approach that differently. But I do feel like I sort of scaled some kind of hillside and arrived at a place that has a very nice view.
Still no end inside, though